Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, welcome to Fairfield Today. Good to have you with us on another beautiful day in downtown Lancaster as we begin our taping day. A bit overcast, but still just a fabulous day for this time of year. Warm out, cool mornings, warm afternoons. It's a fallish kind of feel outside. Certainly football and things going on with that are just a wonderful time of the year. And one of those things with football, when you think of football, at least I do, and I'm sure many others do, or think of the bands that are involved in that. We've got some good band stuff for you today. We're going to talk about the Lancaster High School Band of Gold. We've got the director with us today, Ben Factor. Ben, how are you?
Doing great.
Good to have you with us. You've got from your take, every week is a big week for the Lancaster High School Band of Gold. They got contests every week. They got games to do almost every week. But one of the big things that's happening, and it's hard to imagine, this is 45 years, the Band of Gold Invitational. That's pretty remarkable.
It is. We've been doing it a long time. We're one of the longest running contests in the state.
I was going to say, I bet in the ones you go to, I bet this is probably as old or older than most of them you ever attend.
Yeah, and we've kept it going. Even during COVID, we did a festival, non-competitive, because we feel it's very important for our students and students around the state to have that opportunity at beautiful Fulton Field.
Did you see some of these things like that fall off when COVID hit? Maybe that they did let's say they'd done a good job, but when COVID hit, so many dramatic things changed. Did you see a loss in some of those things?
Yeah, at least for that year, and a lot have come back since then, but it definitely is hard to pull it back.
45 years now. Let's see, that would put us maybe back in the Bill Whitman days. Did Bill start this?
Bill Whitman started that with his band boosters in 1981.
That's and here he is still going strong. And as I understand it, he's going to be involved in the one coming October
18th.
October 18th, and Bill's going to be involved in that.
Yeah, I asked him to announce actually, so we're going to have him up in the press box doing our announcing, which is great.
Well, he would be all over this because he would understand it infinitely, every sense of it from the Lancaster High School Band of Gold. So this is the 45th year. 16 or 17 bands?
17 bands, that's right.
And that's that'd be right up there with full load.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's a full day. So what time let's see, that's a Saturday. So what time does this start and end on a Saturday?
The competition starts at 5 o'clock, and we'll go on at 9:40.
9:40 is the Lancaster High School time. Is it any extra pressure when you're on in front of your home fans?
Oh, a little bit, of course, having a crowd at the end of the night especially, and everybody's sticking around, but it's exciting too. The kids come out there and they see a full crowd of people supporting them. And,
I was going to say people they know.
Of course, local folks that might not come to other competitions around the state, and they love coming down to Fulton Field and seeing all the bands, and especially ending with us.
How many of those competitions do you attend a year?
We usually do 4 local competitions.
And is that in a 10 or 12 week period? I mean, do they go on period. 7 weeks? So they go on most of the marching band season?
That's right. Yeah, the first competition is always the Saturday after Labor Day. And then there's 7 weekends of local shows, and then there's 2 weekends of state competition after that.
And speaking of state competition, allow me to mention this. I think I read, and again, social media, so I'm going to assume it's true, but I understand that was it Logan Elm, one of your most recent competitions, and you got a superior rating, and that was very important?
It always is. That was our first competition of the season. It's only week 2 of the season, which is very early, but we did earn a superior rating at that first competition, which qualifies us for state finals in November, which is the 44th year that we've done that, and that's pretty close to state record.
I was going to say there couldn't be many more. It almost coincides with as many years as the Invitational's going on.
It does. State finals in Ohio started in 1980. And Lancaster didn't participate that first year, but the second year we were in, and every single year since.
Well, it's quite a record, and again, certainly for all the folks here in Lancaster the Golden Gale fans were always so proud of the band. You've always, at least, and again, I go back to a few before that when Mr. Teachout, he came in when I was a sophomore, and he came in at about 63 or 64 was Mr. Teachout's first year. And so I've kind of been involved more in the Lancaster High School bands from that era up till now. But you've got quite a rich history. The band has always been very important here, and I'm sure you sense that every week. And I know you have band boosters that second that. I almost think you have band boosters that would be second to none.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we love our band boosters. They help out with a lot of things throughout the season. We couldn't do it without them, that's for sure.
Well, I watch you, for example, and we're very fortunate to have the Lancaster High School Band of Gold participate in a couple of military events that I've involved in. One is the Memorial Day ceremony, and the other is Veterans Day. And unless it's on a Sunday, we're always fortunate we can have the band there with us. But I see, for example, when the Memorial Day service is going and you guys march down and come into Forest Row Cemetery, there's always adults. You can always spot them. They're almost marching in step with the band, and they're very involved, and they're helping you do things. A lot of them are parents, past parents, people involved. You've got a good group.
A good following, that's for sure. Parents and friends, alumni, and supporters all around town. We're very fortunate.
And I'm sure some of them have left and gone and done things, but then they've come back to Lancaster, and now they have an opportunity to pay back, and they like to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to have that good team, too, just getting as many people involved as possible.
Sure. And one of the things I was thinking about here, we've got the fair coming up here in just a month or so. Less than a month probably, and I always think of the I don't know if it's a roundhouse. I don't exactly know the title of that. It's a little round building there, roundhouse. Would that
That's
be?
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's always and it's legendary there for being there as many years as I ever remember the fair, but certainly for almost as far back as I can remember, the band boosters have taken it over, and they run that. And one of the places I have to hit every year. There's several I hit every year, but one of the places is that, and the parents are in there, and they're hawking their pies, their homemade pies, and all the stuff that they make in there. And they've always got this great band memorabilia climbing all over the walls and on the tables and stuff. They go all out on this.
For sure. Alumni love to go in there and visit, and just have a good time, and look at all that memorabilia. It's really important to them to see their culture and the heritage of the band program, and it's very important.
And I would say a lot of the kids, maybe just even out of school, maybe they're home for the fair time, they get to go in there and say, oh, I remember this when I was there, and they see their years of uniforms up there. So good on you for keeping all that stuff alive. They love that. Now if we go to the October 16th?
18th.
October 18th,
Yeah.
Saturday, October 18th, is the Lancaster High School Band of Gold Invitational. What are the things that if you're a parent, I guess you're looking at your kid out there. I get that. Everybody's looking at their son or daughter on the field. But what are the things that you stress? What would be the things that generally qualify you for a superior rating that you're trying to stress to your band members? These are the things you have to do for us to earn this superior rating.
Well, there's 7 judges that are going to be looking at the band up in the press
Each
box.
one has something?
And each one has something. 5 main judges would be the 2 music judges, visual judge, and 2 general effect judges. So those 5 judges go into an overall rating. So it's multifaceted. You have to make sure that you're winning over all of them in terms of that superior rating, and you have to make sure that you get at least 3 out of those 5 giving you a superior rating, which will earn an overall superior rating. And by the end of the season, which is when our contest is, we hope that a lot of bands really get to that point. That's the goal for a lot of bands, and some bands just go week to week and like to improve. So we like to give all bands an opportunity to show their progress.
Now, are the judges, are these, and I'm certain these are probably either current or past band directors. I would guess that would be have been their vocation, because they would know this stuff infinitely. But are they people that are from all around the state, or are they local? Where do they come from?
All around the state. They have to be approved by OMEA, the Ohio Music Education Association. Most of them, like you said, are either current or former band directors, retired a lot of times. But there are some that have been involved in some other area, especially when it comes to visual. They might not be a band director, but they might have performed and had some drum corps experience or various things like that. They come from all over the state. A lot of times they do bring in different judges from different parts so that you don't get the same judges when you stay local.
Sure. Do you get to do any of that now? Because I know day to day, week to week, season to season, you're so involved, but is that something you get to be freed up to do any of that, or is that something post-band director you get to do?
It's a little easier post-band director for sure, but I've been judging for 10 or 12 years at this point, and I judge music primarily. And I go around the state on my free weekends, which aren't a lot, but I usually have a couple free Saturdays when we have a homecoming game or something like that, where I can get out there and see other bands also.
Well, it's the 45th annual Lancaster High School Band Invitational. It's out at Fulton Field, and I doubt if it makes any difference, but as you're looking at the new high school, you're pretty excited about that. We've got, this is the last year at the current high school. Things are on track, and it certainly looks like they are, to have the 2026 school year and a year open up out there. Band director, you got pretty nice facilities, you think will be?
Yes, I can't be happier. Yeah, just very, very excited. That's going to be a game changer for us. Just
really?
Having the facilities, the size of the facilities, practice rooms, rehearsal space that we just simply don't have now with the building built in the 60s, and it wasn't prepared for a band from the 2020s. So we're very, very excited.
What makes the difference in a band from the 2020? The size?
Size is a lot of it, and the equipment, and just the opportunities, any more technology, and there's just a lot that just happens to be different now.
Because I think about it, and again, not to date myself, but at the current high school, I was there the day the bands began out there in 63 or 64 was the first year out. So in 63 they opened it up there, and I think about the size of the bands then. I don't know if you have separate. Do you have separate bands? Like, is there a marching band versus a?
No, we have 3 concert bands that meet during the school band.
Sure. So they aren't necessarily. You aren't necessarily in every one.
We have 3 class periods: freshman band, concert band, and symphonic band.
Okay.
And all of our band members are in one of those 3, and most of them do participate in marching band after school.
Because back in the day, there was just concert band or symphonic band, and then there was marching band. So if you were in the band, you were in the band.
Yeah.
You did both of those things. But now that some things could change.
Most are, yeah, but we have some fall athletes that don't participate in marching band this time of year.
Football players we couldn't get because that was, they were doing things on Friday.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fall sports now, and a few more than there used to be, too.
That's right. Now, you have a flag corps, right?
Yeah, we do have a corps.
Now, are those girls necessarily in the band, or are they just people that participate in that, or can or should they be doing both?
Some of them do both. A lot of them we pull from outside the band program, but we have a good sized color guard. We have a wonderful group. A lot of them do play an instrument during the school day, whether in freshman, concert band, or symphonic band. And then when they're in marching band, their instrument just happens to be flag and dance.
And I imagine they, as I kind of remember, the band's out there marching. They're doing what they do. You're running your boot camp on keeping people tough to the cause out there. But then separated from that, maybe sort of like cheerleaders when football was going on, there's a little mini camp going on with just the flag people. So probably the people that head up your flag team, they're doing things out there at about the same time you're doing yours.
It's a lot more integrated than it used to be. With marching band, all the sections have to be integrated so much more to put on a production like we're doing. It's not a separate thing like it used to be so much, but all sections do have a lot of separate rehearsals that they work with, different instructors, so not just color guard, but all the other sections too have a lot of specialties that they have to work on throughout the season.
When I was there, I can remember right behind the high school, the current high school, that's where we marched. They had several levels there, and we had a marching field there. Well, that's, of course, all gone because that is the new Lancaster High School. And I've seen opportunities where I've seen you out in the parking lot, maybe out where the teachers park up there by the 37 entrance or like that. So is that where you practice kind of on the hard stand, or do you get, or are you able to get on Fulton at all?
Yeah, we go over to Fulton Field every now and then, but as much equipment as we have, it takes a little bit more time to do that, but we find a few opportunities to do that. But typically we are on that parking lot where the teachers typically park, which actually has been an ideal location because they have the hill right up there, and I don't need a tower. I just walk up the hill.
No tower.
And it's a great location, at least for this one more year, and then we'll be moving up north, just north of the new high school.
So you'll have another field, a practice field above yet where the high school is?
It's going to be a parking lot.
Closer to OU?
Yes, very close to OUL. It'll be a parking lot right outside the new band room, which will be just ideal. We can push equipment right outside, and we're there.
Well, we just think you do such a great job. We're so happy that you're the band director. How many years now?
I started in 2014, so this is 12.
Would you start like when you were 9 years old? I mean, obviously he looks, and Mr. Teachout was much the same way when he started too. They look like you'd have to have a hall pass when you walk down there. The monitors might stop you. Mr. Teachout would tell stories like that. Probably you're close to that. But Ben Factor, the director of the Lancaster High School Band of Gold. So October 18th coming up here.
That's right.
Saturday, the hours again are?
We start at 5 o'clock, and tickets can be purchased at lancasterbands.com/invitational.
You got everything online?
Program, concessions menu.
High-tech stuff. Very good. Best of luck out there. You guys do such a great job. Congratulations on your superior rating. We'll be looking for some more good numbers coming in from the state. So break a leg out there on that. Lancaster High School Band of Gold, Ben Factor. We'll be back in just a moment.
At Fairfield Federal, we believe true prosperity is shared. For 130 years, Fairfield Federal has invested in the community that built us. From supporting businesses that employ our neighbors, empowering the initiatives that strengthen our community, and serving generations of families, Fairfield Federal is proud to share this milestone of progress with our hometown. Fairfield Federal is your place for checking, savings, and home loans. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 402612.
Fairfield Medical Center is more than a hospital. We're a health system that's been putting people first for more than a century. From the youngest patients to the eldest, our compassionate team of caregivers are here to support you through every season of life. We are healers, cheerleaders, patient advocates, and champions. Your health is our greatest accomplishment, and we are proud to serve you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
Greetings from Fairfield DD. As we embrace the back-to-school season, we welcome the arrival of autumn and our cherished fall customs. Join us for Football Friday nights and the county fair. While you revel in the colorful season, let's also reflect on the positive changes we aspire to witness. At Fairfield DD, our goal is to foster a vibrant community where individuals lead lives of greater independence and make meaningful contributions. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram to discover more about our unwavering commitment to the community.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
What makes Fairhope what it is our staff. It's always a question that we ask, why do you want to be here with us? And what they most always say is, you've touched my life this way. You know, you took care of this person, or I've seen what you've done and I want to do that. And so the staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Fairfield Today. I want to thank Ben Factor for coming in, giving us a great update on the Lancaster High School Band of Gold and their invitational coming up here in just 2 or 3 weeks away. Going to change it up a little bit, and a program we've talked about on the show a little time. Generally, we've had Tracy Kelly from the Fairfield Medical Center on to talk about this, but something that we've had an opportunity to talk about a couple of times is a community Heart Watch program, and we've got folks here that can really talk about it. They really know what's going on. On my far right is Dr. John Lazarus from Fairfield Medical Center. Heart doc, I'll say you're a doc, but your title is out there.
So I'm an interventional cardiologist at Fairfield Medical Center, and I've been involved in Community Heart Watch since 2018, and I'm one of the clinical chairs for Community Heart Watch.
Good enough. We got the impotent people here to talk about this. Sarah McGraw-Thimmes, welcome.
Thank you.
And you are really with the Lancaster City Schools.
Yes.
That's your really full-time, daytime job.
Yes, that
and you
is.
are a district
Health coordinator.
District health coordinator. Is that a school nurse?
Yes.
Okay. And when I was in, we had one at every building. We probably don't have that anymore.
No, that's why there's a coordinator.
I get it.
But we do have great
we always had one.
full-time
If you
health
needed a
assistants.
Band-Aid, they'd get down to see the school nurse down there.
Yes.
Those days are gone. I get that. So we're going to talk about Community Heart Watch, and this is from a layman's point of view. Doc, we'll start with you on this. It's the AEDs that we see in all the buildings anymore, and we've been involved in here and trying to promote that and get it involved. I know it's been pretty successful around the community. This is a program I know you believe in very much.
Absolutely. So cardiac arrest is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. And in fact, in our community, we have about 10 cardiac arrests that happen every month.
Wow.
Now, a lot of the times, these people that have a cardiac arrest, if they have appropriate care, they show up to the hospital, and then as one of the interventional cardiologists, you take them to the cath lab, you see if they have a heart blockage, and you open it up with a stent. But a lot of times, the people that have a cardiac arrest never make it to the hospital. And the reason is there are many steps in the chain of care that are needed prior to even showing up. So at the end of the day, we come out to the family, we say, hey, we put a stent in, and he's doing better, and the family thinks we have done the great job of saving their life, when in fact, it is the community that has made the biggest difference. Because if the community was not there to help with bystander CPR, which is important, if they didn't have an AED to help get the person back in rhythm, that person never makes it to the hospital. Mm-hmm. So just as a general introduction, Community Heart Watch is focused on improving cardiac arrest survival in our community. Our community is a very, diverse community. You have some rural areas, you have city areas, you have some underserved areas. So the goal of Community Heart Watch is to come up with programs that can help the businesses, the people in their homes, the people in their schools, and improve the survival from cardiac arrest. So this is why we're very passionate about it. And we've come up with various different programs that I'm sure we'll get into, but
sure.
It's an honor to be here to talk about it.
Well, we appreciate you being here. Sarah, your job is to come up with these programs and implementing them and doing things, and certainly in the schools, but in the community?
Yes. So I do concentrate mostly on the schools, but what we do in the schools have a ripple effect into our community. Lancaster City Schools, in the past 10 years, we've had 3 sudden cardiac arrest events happen. And I was only present at one of the schools when it took place, and it was a student. And he had gone down in his culinary arts program. I had gotten a call on my cell phone to see if I was in the building. By the time I got to the classroom, the teachers had already cleared the classroom of the other students, had already called 911, looked up at me and said, Sarah, we're not sure if he's breathing. I did a quick assessment. I had them get the nearest AED, and in Lancaster City Schools right now, we have 58 AEDs throughout our district.
Really?
So there happened to be one right outside the classroom, brought it in, we did CPR, it defibrillated, EMS arrived, and they took him up to Children's Hospital actually that particular day. And then what I was able to do with our machine was go back and download the EKG result, the report from that event. And that is really what the cardiologist then at Nationwide Children's Hospital used to diagnose him with an arrhythmia, and the student ended up needing to have a defibrillator implanted. So I've experienced it firsthand myself, but the other 2 times, the other 2 individuals did survive, but I wasn't the one present. It was students acting in one situation, and in the other situation it was our staff who took charge.
I was able to talk before you folks were on today with Matt Weidman here. Matt is such a big proponent of this and done so much in the community, but he was telling me about a couple of these things right here, and the fact that you were able to use your system up at Nationwide Children's Hospital, and that made a difference.
Yes, it did. It did.
And I think a lot of the AEDs that we currently have out in the community, they do have that ability to download the strips, or basically it's what the heart is doing at the time of arrest.
Sure.
Which then gives an infinite amount of, it's really helpful for the physicians that see them in the hospital, because they were not there at the event when it happened. So it really helps, direct care.
Got Dr. John Lazarus from Fairfield Medical Center and Sarah McGraw-Thimmes, who's with us from the schools, but also involved in this Community Heart Watch program. And I was thinking, as Sarah was explaining to me about when she got to this young person, and these are the steps that you're talking about. You'll come out and say, the doc at Children's Hospital, well, we put a stent in, this young man, you're the hero. But had it not been for the steps that the machine we're talking about today do, or the teachers setting them up for this and setting you up for success, maybe none of this even comes about.
Paul, I think that is probably one of the most important points, and what we want to advocate most to Community Heart Watch is that we are our neighbor's keeper. At the end of the day, what determines how well we do is related to the people that are around us when an event happens. So the things that we try to do at Community Heart Watch is, number one, we recommend bystander CPR training. So we have a program where we go and teach businesses, schools, and obviously the fire departments are very helpful with this. They really are a big part of the Community Heart Watch.
Certainly make their job better.
And they go out and they educate the businesses, the schools, and other institutions in bystander CPR. So basically, if someone has a cardiac arrest, what should be our response? How do we assess the patient, and what are our next steps? And then the second step to that, before they reach the hospital, is having an AED. So an AED is a defibrillator that can identify the heart rhythm. And if the rhythm needs an electrical shock, the AED will restore the heart rhythm. So for every minute that someone has an arrhythmia, that the AED is not applied, the chance of death increases by 10%.
Ooh.
So you can imagine, if you don't have an AED available and you've been working on someone for 5 to 10 minutes, that's quite a high chance of not being able to come back. And then after that, we have the EMS response, to come and bring them to the hospital. But those first two steps of bystander CPR and applying an AED makes a world of difference, as Sarah had mentioned with this young child who I met.
Yes.
Great young man.
Yes.
Yeah. Great
And
young
he's
man.
still with us because of all these steps and all these programs that you started right here. I mean, golly, it gives me goosebumps even to think. I'm sure you were so involved in that. I mean, it's like almost a miracle to watch this.
Oh, absolutely. And I credit our staff and our students too, being comfortable with taking action. I think that's the biggest thing that we try to do, is build up those skills that if something happens, they know what to do. Because what we do in those first few minutes really is what impacts the end result in all of this.
Matt was telling me here at Fairfield Federal, which is of course where we are today, I forget the title, but it's a business that they have, but they actually have drills here.
Yes.
Where if someone happens to have that, that's fine. But if someone happens to be in the lobby, they'll have a body or a dummy they'll put out there, and that's the kind of training that you want those people to do, that you try to help them, and that makes the difference.
Absolutely. The other day, I've got a 4-year-old boy, and he ate something and he was choking on it. And although I'm well versed in emergency care, I got a little bit shaken up there.
It's panic time.
Because when your adrenaline is high, sometimes it's hard to remember the exact steps that need to be done. So I think actually Sarah's done a great job of that, and we try to emphasize that in every place we give an AED, is to have a drill, a protocol where if there is an emergency, how would the people in that business or school respond to it? Because it helps you work out the kinks, and you can never have enough drills. We've had arrests in the cath lab, which is well equipped to do everything. And even there, we find the need to have drills. So absolutely, that is part of what we do at Community Heart Watch, is to ensure there's ongoing education for what needs to be done.
If someone is interested in maybe they've just heard about the program, not paid a lot of attention, now they say, well, our church should have one, or our business should, how can they find out about this?
You can contact Fairfield Medical Center, and they can connect you to us, or we are on the website as well. On Fairfield Medical Center's website, there's a Community Heart Watch tab that you can click on that will also share our contact information.
You know, years ago it was CPR. That was all you had. I mean, and that was enough. That's what you had. But I look at now when we see this AED that we have at our church. I mean, it gives you step by step. You certainly don't have to have great medical. You don't have to be a doc to understand how to use this.
Yes.
This will guide you step by step. This is what you do. You take the shirt off. You do this. You do that. I mean, it's come a long way and saved a lot of lives, I'm sure.
So Paul, let me give you a quick story that happened actually probably 3 weeks ago, I think it was. So we have this new AED through Community Heart Watch called a Vive. And it's kind of like just like a smartphone, it's a smart AED. It has some additional features over the traditional AED because it can kind of direct you to where there's an emergency, and then you can deliver the treatment that's necessary. So I think I just finished a procedure at Fairfield Medical Center, and I have an Avive. So the Avive targeted me and said, there is a cardiac arrest within 2 miles of where you're at, and it gave me an address, okay? So it was at Graceland Drive, right here down,
Sure.
Main Street.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, let's check this out. So we kind of took a few of the girls that were working in the cath lab, and, we ran out there. We kind of drove out there quickly, and we got to the location. And interestingly, we got there, EMS, they respond extremely quickly. And they do a great job of that here at Lancaster. But sometimes if they're busy, in another job, or if it's, if an arrest happens very close to you, you might be the first responder. So we ended up being one of the first people on the scene. And what was really exciting is Lydia, who works at YMCA, also had an Avive, and she showed up there too. Now, it ended up that person did not need CPR, did not need an AED. But it was a great proof of concept of how these Avives are meant to work. You can be the first responder, you can get there quickly for intervention. So like you're saying, that the AED you have in your church, it gives a lot of features that sometimes the traditional AEDs don't often give.
Sure.
But again, that's not a fit for everybody, but in certain instances it can be life-saving.
Well, then, let's just tell folks to call up the hospital, ask about the program, get some information. You'll speak. I'm sure you have people that will come to anywhere and speak and talk about this, because I know you live this 24/7. You certainly do, and you as a nurse in the Lancaster City Schools. So thanks for what you're doing. Community Heart Watch program. Gosh, it's a great program. Dr. John Lazarus, Sarah McGraw-Thimmes is with us. We appreciate all your great information. You've done such a super job. Of even somebody at my level can kind of pick up on some of this. Thank you so much for what you do. And we thank Tracy Kelly at Fairfield Medical Center for kind of getting us involved.
We're just two other people in Community Heart Watch.
You're the face of it.
Yeah,
though.
we have, actually, one of the things that we did right when we started is we got all the fire chiefs from our community, which they are honestly like the hands and feet, because they're touching the businesses, they're touching the schools. So we greatly appreciate their involvement, because they're often the first people that show up. And we also have other nurses in the community that have really stepped up to the plate. We have businesses with Matt Weidman and a few other people from the banks. So we are very thankful for the group of people we have. I think it's all about who's in the room. And it's a great team in the room. Terry Watson has been very important in kind of helping build this up, and so we have a lot of, and our hospital's been a great partner to support us, to be the umbrella, and give us the clinical backing that we also need. So it's not, it's a team effort, and very thankful to have the people that we have.
Takes a village, huh?
Yeah, it really takes a community.
It takes a community. Excellent.
Takes a community.
Thank you both so much for being on today. We appreciate it very much. Great information. Thank you. Thanks for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.